Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do One Piece episode 565. So before I get started, look down below for the Facebook fan page, the actual link to this week's current episode, and the preview to One Piece episode 556, all in the description down below. So, that being said, this episode of One Piece, yeah. You see, it was very good. Why is it very good? Because not only did we see the abilities of Soul King Brook, and I told you people, be on the lookout for Soul King Brook. I said that. But not only did we see his skills, and he has now honed his Belfry ability even more. Because remember, and this to me is something very important mentioned in the series, when Sir Crocodile, when he was fighting against Luffy, he said that the best thing a Delphi user can do is try and hone the true essence of their devil fruit, meaning try to master their own fruit, because there's always going to be something else you can do with your own devil fruit. And Brook has finally understood the abilities of the Yomi Yomi no Mi. His soul resonates on a higher frequency than other people's souls, meaning that he can not only can he manipulate your own soul, but he can actually take you into illusions and shit. So that's crazy shit. So Brook can actually illusions. And not only that, using his soul, he's able to tap into the winds of the netherworld and freeze you. Solid sword, sword, and then he has the freezing style, and and then it's like a blade of wind, or like a blade of freezing wind. And I'm like, that shit is very, very impressive. Like, as you can see here, Soul King Brook upped his game. He upped his game big time. But not only did we see impressive feats from Brook, but also Monkey D. Luffy. Now, everyone wanted to see this fucking move. They saw that shit. And what I really liked the most about this whole entire scene was the correlation between the Ace stuff. You know, like we see Ace in like the background, and then we see Luffy do the Red Hawk, and then like Ace doing like his He-Can at the same time. So it's like, you know, He-Can and then Red Hawk, and like we see it at the same time. And then Holy Jones just gets laid the fuck out. Holy Jones gets laid the fuck out quick. It was like explosion, and then he gets sent flying back into Noah's structure. We see Usopp. Well, actually no, we see Sanji. Sanji has like a setup, like he's setting up, because you know, because he was tricking Wadasume into growing like really like large, and then you know, Wadasume, he's really like all puffed up and shit, and then Wadasume's like, dude, you know, like he's like, yeah, man, what now, bitches? And then Sanji's like, you know, I'm impressed, you know, you really are, you're big. And then he goes to Jinbei, like, yo, Jinbei, you ready? Jinbei's like, of course. And so we're gonna see a tag team move by Jinbei and Sanji. And then we see. And by the way, if you're wondering, yeah, no real summary, because, I mean, I'll get more to the detail later. But basically, and then we see, Usopp. And Usopp is actually, because I forgot his name, the cookie cutter fishman guy, because he's getting real cocky. Like, at some point, at some point, this guy is covered in fire and shit. You know, just going around like, yeah, like, you know, doing his own thing and shit. And he's, you know, he appears to be pushing back Usopp. However, Usopp baited his ass, alright? He's now planted some well, he said, you know, in 3 steps, you will be eliminated. And I'm like, okay. So Usopp had set up the entire thing since, you know, he first fought this guy. Good shit. So Usopp, even though he's not, you know, well, I'm not gonna say that he's not that same liar, because Usopp will still lie and trick you, but he's now a lot more strategic. He will plan things out way ahead of time just to make sure that you fall for his trap. And the shit he pulls is very impressive. I mean, very, very, very impressive. Now the next thing, Zoro. If Zoro doing his thing, Hyuzo is completely like fucking like, yo. Hyuzo's like, what do I do? I have my swords. And Zoro's like, not my problem. He walks away. Hyuzo's like fucking Lee, and then all of a sudden makes this weird gooey. It appears to be like an acidic poison. We're not too sure what it is just yet, but we'll see it in action soon. He appears to be making this acidic poison, and he appears to be going for the kill against Zoro. And then, of course, we see the big shocker, I mean, well, aside from the Luffy and the Brook shit, the third big shocker, which was Chopper. And Chopper, monster point. Monster point. And for those of you guys who don't read the manga, you're probably like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you a monster point? These dudes are mad weak, Chopper. What the fuck? And then Chopper's like, you know, like that same scene. Usopp's like, what the hell are you doing, man? It's not necessary. What's going on? And all of a sudden, Chopper's like, yeah, it's okay. Usopp. I'm like, okay. See, I like that. The reason why I like that is because he shouldn't have that weird, like, he shouldn't have that really, like, you know, that high-pitched, perky voice when he's in Monster Point. That'd be really fucking weird. When he's in Monster Point, he should be sounding like big and beastly and fucking, you know, like, I don't want to fuck with you. And clearly, Chopper, you know, like, you know, sounds like a full-grown, well, no, not even a full-grown man, like a full-grown monster, alright? So that was good shit. And then, at the end of the episode, we see Luffy. And Luffy is now, well, Shiroshi's now guiding Luffy towards Noah to, you know, end this thing completely. And Horty Jones, I mean, he just munching on energy steroids. They're like they're fucking hotcakes or something, like shit, like just munching on energy steroids. And he is hulking up because we do know that Horty Jones, if he eats enough energy steroids, he can recover from wounds. Like, for example, at the beginning of the arc, when Zoro cut, you know, Horty Jones, and Horty Jones was able to actually, you know, recover from his wounds by eating on the energy steroids. So the steroids, they can provide Horty Jones with some meager form of regeneration. It takes some time. So Horty Jones is trying to pack in all these energy steroids and trying to recover from the wound that Luffy had just inflicted on him. And right now we are reaching the climax. So the reason why it's not going to be a summary for this chapter review, and it's going to be really short in my opinion, is because this chapter is basically, it's the climax. Actually no, next week is going to be the climax. But it's the setup for the climax. And now we're going to see the Straw Hats do their final maneuvers. We're going to see them go in, and we're going to see them, you know, take care of the Fishman officers as well as Horty Jones. And then we're going to see how Luffy deals with Noah. Because Noah, like, remember, like, the thing here is that Noah is a really, 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 really big structure, alright? If Fishman Island, because, you know, I'm good with this kind of shit, Fishman Island appears to be around 10 to 8 kilometers. Meaning that Noah, since Noah is half the size, Noah would be around 5 to 4 kilometers. Which is a really, really, really big-ass fucking structure. Like, that's huge. That's some huge-ass shit. Okay? To give you an example, Noah is probably around the size of, like, Mount Matterhorn in Europe. So, I mean, it's pretty fucking big. Alright? So we're going to see how Noah deals with, you know, Noah, the ship, falling down. But overall, the episode, from a structure standpoint, was good. I loved it. I fucking loved it. Once again, Soul King Brook for the motherfucking win. Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah, that's right. And, of course, we have Chopper, Usopp, and Sanji. They are preparing for their final bouts. And Hyuzo is trying to get the jump on Zoro. And we all know when you get the jump on Zoro, or if you try and get the jump on Zoro, you fail. You automatically fail. So that right there is the entire episode. So I will see you guys later. Once again, look down below for the preview of One Piece episode 566, the fan page, and the actual link to this week's episode of One Piece 565. And overall, once again, great episode of One Piece. And I'm signing out. Peace. Have a nice day.